Today's episode is sponsored by the word sports. Sports is what you do if you can't think of what to put in your anime. Welcome back, and it's time for our next preview episode. As the sponsor kind of suggested, today is heavily influenced by sports. Sports and isekai. Although isekai kind of comes with tropes really as it stands right now. At least we've got some healing to think about towards the end of it. I'm going to let you know what I think of these 4 new anime, and let me know what you think of them in the comments as well. And join me, because this is a 2022 Spring Anime Preview, from a different perspective. Love or Play is a sports anime featuring lots of male characters, lots of boys. The sport in question this time is badminton. Now, I don't mind badminton. I mean, I used to play badminton when I was younger. Not at a high level, just as a hobby after college. But I enjoyed it. It's definitely a lot more pleasant to play than tennis, which I enjoyed watching tennis. But badminton is more exciting to play. It's more all over the court. Not what I could probably play these days. Love or Play is just a male character sports anime about badminton. And that is basically the premise. If you've watched any of a male sports anime, you've seen this one. The characters are all there. I mean, we're crying out loud. You've got a doubles pair, but blatantly doubles pairing, which is going to be a pair of twins. You got the angsty, dark-haired character. You got the energetic young character, who's the main character who really wants to play badminton and gets into a good school to do so. You got a big burly guy who's got a heart of gold. And knowing about the anime really sets me off as being different. And I'll be honest, that's pretty much all I can really view out of this one, because there's nothing new about it. It's just the same sports anime, just with a different pair of shoes on. You just got a badminton racket instead of a tennis racket. Well, I suppose the racket of making sports anime has got to be very quick, because you just turn these around like anything. I'll be honest with yourself, if you want to watch a badminton anime, go watch Hanabado. It aired a few years back, and it's a much better anime than this one is. Unless you like these male-dominated sports animes, in which case this one's going to be all over your cup of tea. Hanabado is more about the drama and the game, whereas Hanabado is going to be about male bonding over sports. Challenging one's former friends at rivals at former schools. Yeah, that sort of crap. If you didn't want to watch Love or Play, this one is airing over at Crunchyroll. Also airing over at Crunchyroll is Fanfare of Adolescence, a sports anime featuring boys. However, this sports anime is not quite as obviously the same as the other ones, given the sport it decides to follow up with is horse racing. But our standard tropes are there again, where you got a main character wanting to become a jockey, finding himself access to a prestigious horse racing school where you can learn to be a jockey. You're a token female character who's there because jockeys can be for girls as well. There's no reason a girl can't ride a horse. The twist this time, and this one at least actually has a twist. I'll give it some merit. It's not as bad as the last one, because this one has a twist, and main character is not just some deadbeat, out of his luck kid who just wants to be a badminton player. It's a former idol. It's actually a male idol who, for some reason, decides he no longer wants to be a male idol, lets down all his adoring fans and paparazzi who follow him everywhere, leave that group, and just go to school to be a jockey. Of course, the press are all over that show. But what he finds when he gets there is just a bunch of other people who don't really like him because he's an idol. You're not here to learn to be a jockey, you're just here because you're an idol. Paparazzi everywhere. And eventually, towards the end of the episode, we get to meet our other main character, who is your stereotypical airhead, but super good at the sport kid. Country kid, doesn't know anything about modern technology, but for some reason has an innate understanding about everything to do with horses. Although, to be honest, you'd think some of the other kids who want to be jockeys would have looked into what horses like and don't like themselves as well. Now, I was willing to give this one a pass, at least to amber level. Whilst at the start of it looked promising, as the episode progressed, you'd see it just thinking, okay, this has started off promising, but we need to make these characters have some kind of rivalry. This one looks promising, but we need to have some motivation. We need a rival character. And one by one, they started ticking those boxes next to this classic male sports dominated anime series. And they stealthily made it a boring male sports anime again. Now the premise does warrant interest. It's different from all these classic sports animes. It's not football, it's not American football, it's not rugby, it's not... I can't remember rugby anime. I saw some videos about the other day. It's not rugby, it's not badminton, it's not tennis. It's horse racing, which is interesting. Until you see the 3D CG animated horse riding, and it turns you off. Again, if you want to watch this one's at Crunchyroll as well. Have you wondered what My Next Life as Villainous would be like if, instead of having a really interesting and really cool main character who became a villainess, you were just a generic male lead who became just a mob character instead? Well, good news! Trapped in a dating sim, the world of Otome games is tough for the mobs, is here to tell you what's happening. Now, our main character is just your basic out-of-luck normal guy who, for some reason, his sister got some really bad dirt on him. I dread to think what he did to her in the past, and what sort of scoop she has, which would mean he basically run his life for him and ruin his life just because she holds a secret on him. That's definitely a strong hook if I ever saw one. But because of that, she forces him to play a dating sim for him, an Otome game. He doesn't want to do it, but she's going on holiday, she wants to hear the music to which you get if you want like the final ending, and she doesn't want to play it when she's on holiday. So she makes him play it instead. And such she spends basically a week of no sleep just playing this dating sim aimed for girls and just hating all the characters. Why are the guys all this type of character? Why is this trope like this? Why is the main character so needy? Why is the villainous so needy? Why is the other character so mean? Why is all these characters so jerks and means? And Otome games make no sense. And suddenly the dating sim starts turning into a mecha fighting anime. And it starts talking into RPG assets, and it makes no sense whatsoever. But he finally beats it, gets the ending he wanted, or she wanted technically, and decides to go down to a convenience store to get himself some energy drinks to make him live again. Sadly, he falls down the stairs and dies. Another isekai, trapped in a game. You clues him a title. He wakes up as the son of a duchess who reigns supreme and wants to marry him off to some godly woman who has no real want for him at all. She just wants to kill him off and take his pension. So yeah, being a mob character in this game is not fun. He wants none of that. So he goes about using his knowledge of a game to take advantage and gain superpowers and super riches, and just basically wants to have a normal life at school. Of course, if it's an Otome game, that's not going to happen. Main character, the villains are probably going to both fall for him. This is not so much an Otome game, but just a dating sim with him as a main character now. So if you thought this was going to be about an Otome game, it's actually more about a dating sim which he's created based around the world of an Otome game. And suddenly the anime starts sounding a lot worse. Now, I'll be honest, it has some interesting tropes. It's not a terrible anime. It has potential, depending on how they travel things. It also has the potential to fall heavily flat on its face. He's already beginning to show tropes of the overpowered isekai, which I have grown to hate unless it's a really comforting one. This one doesn't seem to be comforting. It's got a setup of My Next Life as Villainous, but none of the skill, none of the class. And by class, I mean Katarina class. Because, let's be honest, any anime is worth watching that's got her in it. This one doesn't. If you do want to watch this one, you can find it on Crunchyroll. Finally, we come to Healer Girl, an anime about medicine? Now, the setup of this one's kind of weird since you got this main character, this brightly coloured world, and she randomly starts singing in the street. But when she starts singing, suddenly people start getting healed. A little scrape on a boy's leg gets healed up perfectly fine through the power of a magic. And with songs sung by humanity. Because in this world, you don't just have medicine and herbal, tribal remedies, you also have magic healing songs as a third level of magic and healing. Other than that, it's just not a normal life. Now our main characters, Kana, Hibiki and Reimi, all want to be healers. Songstress healers, as you might call it. And as such, we're studying as apprentices in a surgery, as a doctor's place, where their master, a world-famous healing singer, lives. Everyone loves Ria. She's super attractive, super smart, and her voice is fantastic. She's also a demon trainer from hell, but let's not go into that too much this time, as this is more about learning characters, learning the world, learning what this anime is actually about. Because in the first anime, you learn about the world, you learn a bit about the characters, who they are, but you don't really get to see much happening. And that in itself is what I liked about this anime. You see, Healer Girl is an Ishiki series, like the likes of Aria. It's calming, it's soothing. And after a hard Monday, that's what you want. Healer Girl is an anime about girls which heal. It heals the soul of those watching the anime as well. Now a lot of people look at this one and see it as just another idol show, and the singers, the actresses playing the singers, are generally singers themselves anyway. There have been a lot of idol anime. I think one of them was actually in Love Live, one of the series anyway. But it's not about singing, it's about the girls and getting to know them. It's cute girls doing cute things in a soothing way. And this is one which I will heavily recommend, especially if you hate Mondays and work. Finish your working Monday, get back home, pop on Crunchyroll, and load up an episode of Healer Girl. It'll make Monday seem like it didn't happen. That was Love or Play, Fanfare of Adolescence, Trapped in a Dating Sim, a world of Otome games is tough for mobs, and Healer Girl, 4 new anime which started airing this weekend. Let me know what you think of them. And join me next time we'll look at 4 more new shows. Thanks for watching, have a wonderful day, and bye bye.